Well, Nichelle, thanks. And for players who go through that type of adversity, it's almost as though Sunday arrives as an oasis. They can block out whatever has happened during the week and concentrate on football. And for Drew Brees and the Saints, that means trying to win their third in a row.
And not only for the players, Matt, but for also the fans. A lot of people down in San Diego go to the game today that the Chargers playing, get away from it for a couple of hours, and hopefully the Chargers will be able to entertain them.
Well, Reggie Bush and the Saints seem to have turned it around a couple of weeks ago in their first of 2 trips to the West Coast in 3 weeks, winning at Seattle 2 weeks ago. We are underway in San Francisco this afternoon. Maurice Hicks set to return starting from the 4-yard line. And Hicks is tripped up at the 24 by Alfred Finger of the Saints. A 21-yard return. Well, Drew Brees and the Saints will have to wait as Alex Smith and the 49ers will go to work offensively first. And for Alex Smith, it has been a good week of practice. Back after the separated shoulder injury that happened week 4 versus Seattle. And quite frankly, the 49ers really struggled in his absence.
No question. I mean, Alex can move. They're going to move the pocket today with his legs. He's going to roll out the bootlegs. And that's something that with Trent Dilfer in there, they weren't able to do.
Smith starts out of the shotgun with a 3-receiver set. Delaney Walker, the man in motion. Then Alex's first pass from scrimmage is complete to Walker for no gain as he's tripped up by the veteran corner Mike McKenzie. And Delaney Walker looks slow to get to his feet on the very first play this afternoon. Oh boy, the 49ers get one tight end back last week as Vernon Davis returned, and now it looks like another is in trouble. Well, it seems as though the 49ers just can't get the full complement of tools on the field healthy at the same time. First play of the day, and Delaney Walker is escorted off the field.
Yeah, and watch as his elbow comes down. It just looks like it's going to jam his shoulder. Right there, all the weight came right down on that shoulder, and that was definitely looked painful. I'm sure it was.
There are some notable inactives offensively for San Francisco today. Vernon Davis checking into the game, and he moves before the snap on 2nd and 10. The handoff is to Frank Gore to the 30-yard line before being stopped by Will Smith. Boy, now more than ever, Vernon Davis really needs to step up. Not only is Delaney Walker gone, but Darrell Jackson inactive today.
And they've got to have somebody that can stretch the field and get that extra safety out of the box, because teams have put that safety in there to stop Frank Gore in the running attack. Vernon Davis has all the ability in the world, 4'3", 70, strong as a bull. He's got to get down the field and make some plays and open it up.
3rd and 5, the 49ers trying to prevent an early 3-and-out. Only Kansas City has gone 3-and-out more often this season, and a flag. We check in with John Perry.
Prior to the snap, false start, number 85 offense, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Well, that's Vernon Davis, the 2nd-year former first-rounder.
And that's one of the biggest problems of this offense. When we talked to Coach Nolan as well as Alex Smith, he said, you know, penalties have killed us. And we're not very good when we have to go 1st and 15, 1st and 20. Obviously now they're back to 3rd and 10. And that's tough to continue to have to try to convert that yardage.
The 49ers average the longest to-go yardage on 3rd down in the NFL this year. Here's Alex out of the shotgun, and that one nearly picked off. It was intended for Arnaz Battle. Josh Bullocks was the closest to the football. And the 49ers will punt it away on their first possession.
And with Alex Smith, it's going to take him a little while to get settled in and get used to the speed of the game coming off that shoulder injury. He said, you know, his arm is fine, but it's a little tired. Like when you first start running again, your legs get heavy and tired. That's kind of how his arm is right now.
Lance Moore is the deep man for New Orleans. Going to begin the return at the 26-yard line. But nowhere to go as he's dropped after a 1-yard return by Brandon Moore. So it's time for Drew Brees, Reggie Bush, and the New Orleans offense to go to work. And as JC mentioned when we went on the air, much better numbers for Brees the last 2 games, completing passes at a 67% accuracy clip, 4 touchdowns, only 1 pick the last 2 games.
And they just have to get back into their rhythm, the rhythm they had last year. And he said that he feels like that's slowly starting to come back, where they're getting that swagger back on the offensive side.
The ex-Niner Eric Johnson, the man in motion, play action, and all day for Breeze. The deep ball and a wide open target. It's complete to David Patton. And the ex-Patriot brings the Saints inside the San Francisco 30.
And that was just a blown coverage by Nate Clement, but the protection up front. Watch everybody go after Reggie Bush on the play fake, and now Drew Brees just rolls out. He's got all the time to look down the field, and there was only one guy open because Eric Johnson got held up. And watch Nate Clement. He bites on the stop fake. David Patton runs right by him. That was the only guy in the pattern.
This is Reggie Bush with a seam across the left side. Bush is inside the 20 for another New Orleans first down. One of the big conversations around the Saints in the absence of Deuce McAllister has been Reggie Bush as the primary back and how he previously had been an outside runner. We talked to Coach Sean Payton yesterday, and he said the reputation as Bush being just an outside guy really isn't fair.
It's unfair. He hasn't been called on to do that when Deuce was here.
The Niners are in the nickel package. The pass is complete to Reggie Bush, who also happens to be New Orleans' leading receiver. Let's check in quickly for the first time today with Kurt Menefee in Los Angeles. Kurt, thanks. And as fans know, there was some question as to where that game was going to be played this afternoon. Empty backfield set. Touchdown, New Orleans. The quick strike TD catch by Marcus Colston, his 3rd of the year. And just like that, New Orleans on a handful of plays has a 6-0 lead.
And that's that rhythm and confidence that Drew Brees was talking about with us, in that swagger. They felt like last year they couldn't be stopped on offense. They struggled so far this year, but he said the last 2 weeks they've gotten that swagger back. You can see they've got it so far today.
4 plays, 73 yards. Alindamare will try for the PAT. And the Saints are on the board in impressive fashion early in San Francisco this afternoon. 7-0 New Orleans. Well, prior to the 4-play touchdown drive, the Saints were one of 6 teams not to have scored on their opening possession this year. They get themselves out of that company with an impressive 73-yard touchdown drive engineered by Drew Brees. 7-0 Saints early in the first quarter. Alindamare set to kick it away. And Maurice Hicks begins the return from the end zone. Hicks is out across the 25 and taken down at the 27-yard line by Roman Harper. Alex Smith will go to work for the second series of the afternoon when we come back. Now the Marcus Colston touchdown grab, his 11th career TD, has put the Saints on top early today.
And Reggie Bush, this is what he brings to the team. You see him motion out. Now Donald Strickland, he should reroute Colston right here, but he's so worried about running outside to Reggie Bush, he just lets Colston run right up the field, and he's wide open for a touchdown.
First and 10 for San Francisco. Billy Badgema has checked in for the Niners. Frank Gore tackled for a loss. Scott Fujita, the former Cal Bear, had the penetration for New Orleans. But for New Orleans defensively, after a missing sack attack the first number of weeks, the pressure has been outstanding the last 2 games.
Yeah, it really has. They have 8 sacks in the last 2 weeks. Those defensive ends, Charles Grant, Will Smith, those guys, they'll be looking to get up the field, get after Alex Smith today, especially with the struggles that Joe Staley, Jonas Jennings, who's not playing today for San Francisco, but Adam Snyder replaced him, and he's in there right now. Those guys struggled in pass protection last week against the Giants.
Smith out of the shotgun once again, and looking downfield, incomplete, intended for Ashley Lalib. And for an early injury report, we check in with Nichelle Turner.
Hi, guys. Yeah, we are told that Delaney Walker's already in the locker room. He's got a right shoulder injury, and his return to the game is questionable. He did look like he was in a little bit of pain. Back to you.
Well, Nichelle, thanks. And if it's not one thing, it's another for San Francisco's much maligned offense this year.
And that's going to really hurt them because they want to come out in multiple formations, different personnel groupings, try to get something going offensively, and that's going to take away from it.
Alex out of his shotgun again, and this pass is caught by Vernon Davis across the 30 to the 34. A flag on the play as Jason Kraft had the coverage for New Orleans.
Prior to the pass, illegal contact, number 21. 5-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
It is the 9-year veteran Jason Kraft who was guilty of the penalty. So the 49ers convert on a first down with a little help.
You know, Matt, I talked about how they want to try to use a lot of different personnel groupings. And, you know, they've got a first-year offensive coordinator, Jim Hostler. There was a lot of controversy this past week because Frank Gore said that maybe guys don't trust him right now. It's his first time doing it. They question his play calls. And, you know, after the bye week, they tried to open this thing up. They were pretty conservative first 4 games, and they tried to get this thing opened up a little bit, try to spread people out, try to use their personnel instead of trying to fit their personnel into a certain system.
First and 10 from the 30 for San Francisco. Davis moves into the slot before the snap. Smith with time. A wobbler caught by Davis at midfield. First down, 49ers. A 19-yard pickup. And there's a man down in the backfield. It looks like Charles Grant is slow to get to his feet for New Orleans.
And I talked about the protection and how the tackles struggled last week. Well, on this one, they gave Alex Smith plenty of time to throw the ball. See Joe Staley up top doing a good job, as well as Adam Snyder. You can see Joe Staley right here. Look at his base. He's got his hips down. He's got his arms locked out, and he's able to keep Charles Grant off of him. That's something he didn't do. And now you got Vernon Davis using that speed, coming across the field, running away from the safeties, giving Alex Smith a target.
Charles Grant being escorted off the field and walking rather gingerly, but Joe Staley had his hands full, along with Jonas Jennings and Adam Snyder. Jennings is inactive today because of an ankle problem. It was too much O.C. Umenyor and Michael Strahan in New York last week. And they're going to be tested again this afternoon by Smith and Grant if he's able to continue. This is Maurice Hicks. And Hicks surges forward. Football's free, and New Orleans has recovered Scott Fujita in the midst of a big opening quarterback here in a familiar part of the country. The former Cal Bear recovers the fumble.
Well, there you see Josh Bullocks. He's the guy that forced the fumble, and he's really been active. Watch him come up and strike right there. He's going to get his hat right on the ball, right there, and just pops it out. Scott Fujita comes up with the fumble recovery. Or actually, that might even be called an interception right there. He caught it out of the air.
Room service is what it was. Aaron Stecker in the backfield with Breeze, and the pass, the dump off is caught by Stecker. He might have made a yard out of it before being run out of bounds by Donald Strickland. But last week in their loss against New York, Mike Nolan lamented the points off turnovers, and in fact, of the 33 scored by the Giants, 24 came on turnovers.
Third most in the NFL, so you know, they're beating themselves. You know, obviously, the Niners are not on the Niners' schedule, but they're playing against themselves right now.
Breeze out of the shotgun with a 4-receiver set on 2nd and 9. It looked like that one hit his intended target in the back. Let's check in with Kurt Menefee in Los Angeles. For more information on that one, go to foxsports.com/GameTracks or NFL.com.
Throw touchdowns, run touchdowns. He's doing it all.
The Saints have been pretty good on third down this year. Here they are on 3rd and 9. And the quick pass is caught shy of a first down. as Shante Spencer had the coverage on Terrence Copper. And New Orleans has converted in the NFC's second best third down percentage this year, but they're stopped short.
Look where Shante Spencer's lined up, hard inside. They're expecting that slant because they're bringing pressure. So now he comes down. He's able to make the tackle short of the first down.
The former rookie free agent punter Steve Weatherford in his second year with the Saints takes a low snap and punts it away. This one has a chance to check up inside the 5, and that's where it's down. Alex Smith will go to work for his third series of the day, backed up deep in his own territory. Tonight on Fox, Game 4 of the World Series, the Red Sox look to finish off the sweep for their second championship in the last 4 years, while the Rockies try to stay alive and force a Game 5. Coverage of the World Series continues tonight. Game 4, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific in high def, only on Fox.
The Boston Red Sox. How about that? Nobody happier than our producer, P.T. Navarro.
Got a cancer survivor on the mound for Boston tonight, and the guy that survived a deadly aneurysm on the mound for Colorado. Great stories tonight on Fox. 1st and 10 from the San Francisco 4. Alex Smith buying a little time and has his pass caught by Ashley Lalee, who makes his 3rd reception of the year as a 49er. A pickup of 6 yards as Charles Grant sits on the sidelines. They were taping the ankle up in between that last series. He's been replaced here by Josh Cooper on that left end.
Yeah, you're not going to keep Charles Grant out of the game with an ankle. They're going to tape that thing up. They'll spat over that shoe, and he'll be back in there.
Delaney Walker is back in the game for San Francisco. They split him wide at the top of your screen. And the hand of Frank Gore. Very little running left. Scott Fujita there to make the stop for the Saints. You know, Frank Gore last week ran for a season-high 88 yards, but he has been frustrated more often than not in 2007.
He really has. He's had to deal with a number of issues. He's dealing with an ankle sprain right now, still dealing with the after effects of losing his mother, 4, 5, 6 weeks ago. And he told us, it's just been tough on him. He's playing with a heavy heart, and last week was the first time that since his mom's passing that he said he had some fun in practicing. So hopefully he's getting back to where he was last year.
3rd and 4. Smith on the move. And the 3rd down pass is incomplete, intended for Arnaz Battle, the Shreveport, Louisiana native.
Yeah, and that ball just came out too late. He had Arnaz Battle open early. He just didn't get him the ball, and when he did throw it, the ball was behind him. A little too late. This is just timing. Right now, he's wide open. Get him the ball right now, but you see, it takes too long, and when the ball gets there, it's behind Arnaz Battle. That's just a timing issue. Remember, Alex Smith has been out for a number of weeks.
And all too familiar 3-and-out story for San Francisco. Lance Moore at the 39. He makes a move to get him across midfield and taken down at the 45-yard line of the 49ers. Good field position for Drew Brees when we come back.
Where you see Sean Payton looking down at the script. He scripts the first 15 plays of the game so that his guys know. He gives it to his team on Saturday. Says it really helps to cut down on their anxiety. They know what plays are coming. They know exactly what he's going to call on their first 3rd and 1, first 2nd and long, and so they can visualize, go through it mentally, know exactly what they're supposed to do, cut down on their mental mistakes.
Yeah, he told us yesterday it's like giving a bunch of students the test answers the night before an exam. They feel pretty good about themselves when they walk into the classroom. And so far, that script, by the way, has been award-worthy, as New Orleans was able to score the touchdown on 4 plays in their opening possession. 6:19 left in the opening quarter, and New Orleans will go to work in very good field position, starting this drive at the San Francisco 43. Saints have had the upper hand in the recent series history between these two longtime foes, winning 6 of the last 8. Reggie Bush, the lone back. And Breeze swings it out to his all-purpose threat. A lot of running room for Reggie Bush. A New Orleans first down.
And Matt, all that is a running play. It's a pass, obviously he throws it to him, but it's almost just like a running play. It's designed to get Reggie Bush outside right away, just like a toss sweep. Now he's outside. See Stinchcomb down the field, Lance Moore down the field making a block, and now you've got Reggie Bush outside. And obviously that's one of those scripted plays to try to see how fast the Niners defense is going to flow with it.
The handoff to Reggie Bush. Tackled after a gain of maybe 2 yards. Recall Reggie Bush last year against San Francisco had his real NFL coming out party. 3 touchdowns, 131 receiving yards in a night that really caught everybody's attention.
Right, 3 rushing touchdowns and 1 receiving touchdown, so 4 total for Reggie Bush last year against the Niners.
Play action. And a great catch. And they say yes. In fact, inbounds was Devery Henderson inside the 10. By some fantastic footwork by the Saints deep ball threat.
And that's a great job because Marcus Colston is going to come to the flat, and that's going to hold Nate Clements right there. That opens up that sideline pass for Devery Henderson before the safety can get there.
And Breeze wanted to run that play quickly before the challenge flag was thrown. Unfortunately for New Orleans, the flag appears on the field before the snap as Mike Nolan wants the officials to take a look at this one.
San Francisco is challenging the previous play of a completed catch.
Devery Henderson, and this has got to be a confidence builder for Devery Henderson, who's dropped a lot of balls this year. You can see both feet are in. He's got possession of the ball, and he maintains possession of the ball through the ground. That's a completed catch. See, he's got the ball, both feet in bounds there, and then he maintains possession all the way through the ground.
Yeah, this could be one that doesn't work out so well for San Francisco, who, by the way, have been very successful in coaches' challenges. 49ers, since the advent of the instant replay and the challenge rule, have won 45% of theirs. The NFL average is just over 33%.
How about Devery Henderson? Talked about him having troubles catching the ball. He actually leads the league in dropped passes. Last week he came first drive and caught a big touchdown pass from Drew Brees, and all he needs is to get his confidence up, and that's what they said. He's got great ability. He can run, he can stretch the field, just has to concentrate and focus on catching the ball.
8 of the 22 drops by the Saints committed by Devery Henderson, but again, a fine job on that reception to, after the challenge smoke clears, put the Saints inside the 49ers 10. Busy day of sports on Fox this afternoon. Game 4 of the World Series coming up after football today.
After reviewing the play, it is a catch, 2 feet in bounds, possession with the ball, never lost possession, first down. San Francisco is charged with the first team timeout.
There you see again, no question. Both feet inbound. Great job by Devery Henderson, dragging those toes and then holding on to the ball. You got to maintain that possession even after he hits the ground, and he did that.
The 15-yard reception by Devery Henderson puts Drew Brees over 100 first quarter passing yards already today. The Saints well in the red zone, where they've been very successful this year. The second best red zone touchdown percentage in the NFC. Misdirection play, Aaron Stecker, the ball carrier. But the 49ers smelled that one coming. Michael Lewis teams with Patrick Willis for the tackle.
And you talked about the red zone touchdown numbers for the Saints. The problem with that is they're very successful once they get down there. They just haven't gotten down there that much. They've only been there 14 times coming into this game. That's not a lot of times.
So 2nd and goal from the 5-yard line.
And you see that bunch formation. Watch them trying to get Reggie Bush outside.
And all kinds of finger pointing and flag dropping.
Number 70 offense. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
The Pro Bowl left tackle Jamal Brown. The offensive line for the Saints has been a very consistent group all year. We should note that center Jeff Fain is not active today because of the pec injury he sustained last week against Atlanta. So it's Jonathan Goodwin who's snapping the ball to Drew Brees today.
And that's the first time that line, outside of the part of the game last week, that this line hasn't been intact. But Jonathan Goodwin actually has played a lot in there.
They put Bush in motion. Brees into the corner of the end zone, incomplete, intended for Marcus Colston. Nate Clements had the coverage for San Francisco.
You can see Colston coming out of the slot. He's just going to come up the field now. They fake the quick screen. This is to be considered one of those drops. I mean, that's a ball that he's got to catch. He's 6'4". He goes up there, gets both hands on that ball. And that's a catch that he should make.
Well, it very easily could have been Marcus Colston's 2nd first-quarter touchdown catch this afternoon. On 3rd and goal, play action. The quick dump off to Bush. He tried to cut it back, but he's tackled at the 8-yard line by Patrick Willis. And the 49er red zone defense holds.
And the Saints were hoping that the Niners were going to bring a lot of pressure. They were going to try to let everybody get up the field and then just dump that ball off to Reggie Bush on that middle screen. But Jamar Nesbitt, right there, he doesn't get out of the way. He's got to go down the field. That forces Bush to run sideways. Patrick Willis runs him down.
This will be a 26-yard attempt for Olinda Mare, who has really struggled as a New Orleans Saint. Mare is up and good on his first attempt this afternoon. And the Saints add a first-quarter field goal. 3:25 left in the opening quarter. And New Orleans leads at 10-zip. You know, one of the nice sub-stories when the 49ers meet the New Orleans Saints is the reuniting of old high school teammates. And it was a pretty good high school program at Helix High in La Mesa, California a number of years ago. When Smith was a part of the class of 2002, Reggie Bush 03. Alex Smith guided Helix to a 25-1 record. Reggie Bush ran for almost 5,000 yards. Where's the help over the top is what I want to know.
Looking at those highlights, I mean, it was just too easy for those guys in high school. Obviously, they're great players in high school and great players here, but they should pay some of that money they're making to these guys, these safeties back here. Look at these guys back here. They're just running away. They let him be open. They let Alex throw the ball and let Reggie catch it. So,
are you breaking down high school film?
Breaking it down. Wherever those guys are right now, they're saying, hey, I helped make those guys.
Those guys, actually, interestingly enough, are now play-by-play guys here at Fox.
That was you,
right?
As the free safety.
No, that's one of those neat stories. I mean, you talk about a dominant high school team. In fact, we talked to Alex and Reggie about that during the week, and certainly they're friends, and they keep up as best they can with their different NFL schedules.
And on that team, they had about 10 Division I players on that team. Obviously, none better than Alex and Reggie.
Michael Lewis, the kick returner, and he is taken down to the 21-yard line. Michael Lewis is another one of the great stories here in this one. A New Orleans native and a guy who got a lot of publicity during his time as a Saint as the beer truck guy.
The beer man. I had a chance to talk to him before the game, too, and he said, hey, I want to give it to these guys. He didn't like the way that he got released there in New Orleans. He felt like he still had a lot of football left in him, and there's some bitter feelings there by Michael Lewis, and he said, hey, I'm going to catch the ball. I know exactly what they're going to try to do, and I'm going to give it to them.
1st and 10 for Smith and the 49ers from their own 21-yard line, trying to establish the running game with Frank Gore as he breaks off a 5-yard gainer tackled by Mark Simoneau. Let's check in with Kurt Menefee in Los Angeles. Wow,
about that?
How about that?
Yeah.
Michelle getting some love from Kurt.
Sucking up to Michelle Turner. Wow.
2nd and 5 after the Gore 5-yard gain. Frank Gore once again close to a first down before being taken down by Antoine Lake, a pickup of 4. We told you about the ankle injury sustained by Charles Grant earlier. They tried to tape him and put him back out there. Now he is being escorted into the locker room.
And obviously that's one of their best pass rushing defensive ends. So without Charles Grant, now the Niners can focus more on Will Smith. They can slide their protection. They can help on Will Smith's side by chipping him and be one-on-one on the backside.
3rd and short. 49er first down, a rare carry by Moore and Norris. Just his 3rd carry of the year. They get the fullback involved here this afternoon. Moore and Norris, a 4th-round draft choice by the Saints back in 2001. This is a guy who's been in the league for 7 years. He's never scored a touchdown.
And he's a guy that just does the dirty work. He's the guy that has to go in, take on those linebackers, open up some holes for Frank Gore. When you're a fullback, that's where you get your pleasure, your enjoyment, your satisfaction is when your running back runs for over 100 yards.
1st and 10 from the 31. Play action. Smith tucks it away. And Alex Smith pays the price. He takes a big hit by Scott Fujita as he's knocked out of bounds at the 33. Oh boy, for a guy coming off a shoulder injury, you're going to have to pay careful attention to Alex Smith as to how he recovers from hits like that.
Yeah, he told us he didn't want to take any big shots. This is Vernon Davis right here. We just saw the highlights of Antonio Gates in San Diego catching all those touchdowns. Look what they do with him. He stays in and blocks. The guy runs 4-3. There's not anybody in the secondary that can match up with him, but they've got to get him going. They've got to find a way to get Vernon Davis incorporated into this offense.
Empty backfield for Alex Smith on 2nd and 8. The deep ball over the middle. There's Vernon Davis, and there's a near interception. Roman Harper had the best shot at that ball.
But that's a good thing, because now, as I mentioned, they've got to try to get him involved in this offense. They try to take a shot down the field with him, but what it does, even though it was incomplete, now the Saints have to be leery of that. They've got to be conscious of that. They've got to respect that. Now they can't just sit on him and say, well, they're not going to use him. They're not going to throw him the ball down the field. That's going to back those safeties up.
So 3rd and 8 now. Pass is caught by Vernon Davis, who puts a move on for a San Francisco first down. Exactly what you speak of there, partner.
Hey, it's not hard, man. It's just football, and you've got to use the abilities of the guys you have. They drafted him so highly for a reason, because when you look at his numbers, he's a big, strong guy that can run, unlike any other tight end in the league. You look at Antonio Gates, you look at Tony Gonzalez, all those guys. Vernon Davis has more ability on paper than any of them.
San Francisco's on the move at the end of the first quarter. New Orleans on top early. Fox NFL Sunday will continue after these messages.
Well, there's Jim Hostler, the first-year offensive coordinator for the 49ers. You see that he's up in the booth only the 2nd time all year. The first 4 games, he was down on the field. And for a first-time coordinator, I think you've got to be up top so you can see what's going on the field.
1st and 10 for San Francisco as they're on the move. The 7th play of the drive. Again, trying with Frank Gore on the ground, and after a gain of 2, he is taken down.
And the reason, Matt, that it's so important for a guy like Jim Hostler to be upstairs is because he can see what the defense is trying to do to his offense. When you're on the sideline, all you can see is half the field. What those guys are doing, you have no idea what's going on the other side of the field. So now he has a vantage point where he can see exactly what the defense is doing against his offense, and he can make adjustments.
Jim Hostler, the former Saints wide receivers coach. in the Hazlitt administration of some years back. Frank Gore bounces off a tackle and gets to the 50. Josh Cooper finally takes him down. The former 49er in on the tackle for New Orleans. Well, Frank Gore not getting the number of touches this year that he was last year when he led the NFC in rushing, and as a result, the total yards are down a bit.
No question, and you got to go back to the offensive coordinator dialing up Frank Gore's number. You got to make a commitment to getting them the ball and staying with them. And when you're a first-year guy, so many things are going through your mind, you kind of lose sight of that fact.
3rd and 5 for San Francisco. Saints have the nickel package on the field, and Smith's pass is incomplete. Intended for Arnaz Battle.
Yeah, and it's taken Alex Smith a while to really. It's just getting away from him. I mean, this is an easy throw and catch for a first down, and he overthrows Battle.
Andy Lee has dropped 6 punts inside the 10 this year. Only Dallas's Matt McBriar has put more in that spot. And it looks like Lee's going to tie McBriar as he drops this one inside the 5. Reggie Bush and the Saints offensive unit due up next. Andy Lee has been as close to an MVP as any punter could be in the NFL this year. And his outstanding punt pins the Saints inside the 5 as they begin the drive. Breeze with the big ball. Incomplete, intended again for Devery Henderson, who was covered well by Walt Harris.
Matt, you talked about how much of a weapon Andy Lee is and why he's down so many punts inside the 20. Watch how he drops the ball. He kicks the nose of the ball. Most punters kick the fat of the ball. He drops it, kicks the point, and now it rotates backwards, almost like a kickoff. So then when it hits, it just checks up right there, almost like a golf ball on your swing, Matt. You want to check that ball up right there so it doesn't roll out.
The one with the hideous slice. 2nd and 10. Handoff is to Reggie Bush. And there are the tough inside yards that Reggie Bush told us yesterday he really enjoys being called upon to get.
Yeah, I think he does take an unfair rap, and now he's getting the opportunities to run inside. But when you have Deuce McAllister, he didn't have to do that. He was called on to run the ball outside, to catch a lot of passes, swing out, so people didn't think he could do it. Now he's getting an opportunity to show people that he's able to do it.
3rd and 4. Once again, New Orleans has been outstanding on 3rd down this year. 2nd best conversion percentage in the conference. And Breeze will try to throw for it into a dime defense. Pass is caught shy of a first down. We check in once again in Los Angeles with Kurt Menefee. Kurt, thanks. And no good news there for the Pat haters that seem to be popping up all over the country.
I wonder if Vrabel has a clause in his contract for touchdown catches, incentive clause. If he doesn't, he should.
I wonder how much better life could get for Boston sports fans. Boston College, maybe en route to a BCS game. The Red Sox are a game away from another World Series sweep, and the Patriots just don't want to lose.
Something in the water out there. I don't know what it is.
New Orleans is short by inches, and Sean Payton, backed up deep in his own territory, isn't going to risk it, so he calls on Steve Weatherford in the punting unit here. Your risk-reward equation certainly wouldn't pay you many dividends, even if it is 4th and millimeters.
Not there. The smart thing to do is to punt it away, but the 49ers have got to get something going, and they should get good field position here, and they've got 2 guys back, which you don't see very much in the NFL right now.
Nate Clements has joined the deep man Michael Lewis And they're set up at the 43 for the Weatherford punt.
Obviously, you want to watch reverse and throwback and things of that nature.
Toward the sidelines and out of bounds at the 37-yard line. Okay, out of bounds at the 44.
Well, look at, there's some guys getting ready for a Halloween. They're all set. Look at this, though. They draw on that and give that guy a little goatee working right there. Who do you think? What does that look like?
Ray Wershing.
It's you, man.
First and 10 for San Francisco from the 44. Smith to pass it on first down. Ball's out. And still free. San Francisco recovers, but Brian Young got the big paw in there to strip it free from Alex Smith.
We talked about it earlier. Those ends, Will Smith now, again, just comes and just bull rushes. They jump outside on him, and that allows Brian Young to open up inside. They focus too much on Will Smith. Brian Smith is almost untouched and almost gets the sack, but almost forces the big turnover.
Joe Staley, the first rounder out of Central Michigan, the first ever Chippewa drafted in the first round, the man to fall on it for San Francisco. So after the 7-yard loss, play action for Smith. Pressure and incomplete intended for Delaney Walker. Well, we have seen in the past 2 plays, JC, some of the misfirings that have plagued the 49ers all year long.
Yeah, and then, you know, the Saints wanted to get after Alex Smith. You can see here again, just Larry Allen getting beat inside. The ball is stripped, almost recovered by the Saints. And then on the next play, Josh Cooper just jumps up. You can see he's kind of, my shoulder's not quite right yet, and just haven't gotten in sync.
3rd and long. They hand off to Maurice Hicks. That's good 3rd down yardage, but not enough as Hicks is tackled at midfield by Jason Kraft. A 12-yard gain, but here again comes Andy Lee in the punting unit.
You know, and watching Alex Smith run off the field right there, it looks like he's holding that right shoulder, like it's just hanging down, and looks like it's really bothering him. And that might be why he's not throwing the ball well today. But remember, this drive, they had great field position. You know, the 44-yard line, weren't able to take advantage of it.
Andy Lee's 4th punt of the game. Fair catch signaled for by Lance Moore. Still 10-0 New Orleans. Well, the 49ers training staff attending to Alex Smith. And meanwhile, on another part of the sideline, Trent Dilfer is warming up perhaps to enter this game here in the first half. And they're looking at that shoulder of Alex Smith. That is certainly not good news. He's got the pads off on the whole 9. 1st and 10 for Drew Brees and the Saints from the 8-yard line. The quick drop and catch. Reception made by Marcus Colston. Walt Harris had the San Francisco coverage. This again has been the story for San Francisco a lot. You know, they're winning the time of possession battle today. That's a rarity.
Yeah, and it really doesn't matter because they haven't been able to do anything with the ball while they've had it.
Only 67 yards of offense thus far for San Francisco. Meanwhile, 2nd and 5 for the Saints. New Orleans first down. Again, it's Marcus Colston. We check in again on what's happening in San Diego and head to Los Angeles. Kurt Menefee. Is it me or do the Chargers look slower in the white helmets? Really?
Oh, those powder blues were sweet, though. They wore. Yeah. Was that last week or the week before? Those were nice.
For more on the Texans and Chargers, go to NFL.com or FoxSports.com/GameTrack. Reggie Bush breaking tackles and forced out of bounds by Michael Lewis at midfield.
Wow.
Reggie Bush with a 20-yard gainer close to his season long on the ground.
Yeah, the burst and the explosion and the vision. Watch his vision. Watch him right look. There's Nate Clement right there. He hops outside of him and just jumps up the field. That's so explosive.
First and 10 from around midfield for New Orleans. 4 carries, 41 yards for Reggie Bush in the first half. Breeze under pressure. He's hit as he throws. Mark Roman came in on a safety blitz to get to him. That was one of the keys that the 49ers gave us in regards to trying to beat New Orleans. And we talked to their coordinator, their defensive coordinator, Greg Minuski, and he said it's not just a matter of pressure on threes. It's actually hitting him, knocking him to the ground.
Well, you want to make him feel the pass rush, even when you don't get there, so that what they're hoping is he'll rush, he'll force some throws, which he's been known to do in the past.
The pitch to Aaron Stecker, nothing doing as Derek Smith leads the charge for San Francisco. For more on Alex Smith, let's check in with Nichelle Turner.
Hey guys, yeah, Alex Smith is still here on the sideline, but the training staff is working on that right shoulder. They were pressing down, applying some pressure to it, and every time they did that, he had a real nasty cringe on his face. So Alex Smith still being worked on down here on the sidelines. JC and Matt, back to you.
Well, thanks, Nichelle. And you see that first shot that he took there running, trying to get out of bounds, was on that right shoulder, and since then it's kind of all been downhill for Alex Smith.
Third and long. Breeze with plenty of time. First down, New Orleans. David Patton there for another big gainer. But Patton has been on the other end of the Saints' 2 biggest passing plays this afternoon. A gain of 20, first down, New Orleans.
And you know, they always tell quarterbacks, just throw it to his numbers. Hit him in the numbers. David Patton, he actually slipped down on that play, and as he was getting up, the ball hit him right in the numbers. Great accuracy by Drew Brees.
With a 10-year veteran and 3-time Super Bowl champ in New England, has really stepped up and had a big half here this afternoon. Aaron Stecker's at the back of the offset eye. Now they move Mike Carney. Reverse, double reverse. And the 49ers are there to answer the call. Nothing doing for David Patton. The veteran Derek Smith was there for the loss.
Great play by Mark Roman, snuffing out the double reverse, but they should have set this play up by running the ball with Reggie Bush first. Now they hand it to him, and now here comes David Patton, but the Niners aren't fooled. Roman does a good job right there, just making him bubble back. He doesn't make the tackle, but he makes the play.
So a loss of 6 on first down. Mark Roman, one of the LSU guys in uniform this afternoon. Back to Breeze. And a flag on the play. Shante Spencer had the coverage on Marcus Colston. And Sean Payton really airing out the playbook here on this drive.
He sure is. He is dialing him up. They try the double reverse, and now they come back with the pitch back. They hand it off.
Pass interference, defense number 36. Spot of the foul, automatic, first down, North.
They just run this throwback. They're going to hand it off to Bush inside. Watch him just flip it back. Buys some time, does a good job of selling it. Then he throws it back to Drew Brees, and now you see down the field, that's just an easy call. And even with the pass interference, Colston's almost able to make this catch.
So that marches Brees and the Saints 36 yards inside the 5. First and goal, play action. Eric Johnson is in the back of the end zone, incomplete. The former 49er is about maybe a foot and a half inside that chalk of making for 6 points.
Yeah, and I got to think that Sean Payton consciously made that call to try to get Eric Johnson a touchdown against his former team, because you can run the ball inside. It's wide open. See Eric Johnson just running to the corner. He's actually wide open. Drew Brees throws it a little high and behind him, and not able to get his feet down.
Eric Johnson, ironically, with 28 receptions, would lead the 49ers this year. Second and goal. Bush the lone back for New Orleans. The quick slant and touchdown for the Saints. Terrence Copper, his first touchdown grab of the year. And New Orleans goes on top 16-0.
That's what happens when you have such creative play calling. You put pressure on a defense. Now they really don't know what's coming. You try the double reverse. Now they're thinking what's coming next. Now you come back with the pitch back, throw downfield, and now you just run the quick slant outside. It's getting easy for the Saints.
The Mare PAT is up and through. Second quarter in New Orleans is already on their game average with 17 early points.
I'm ready. If you ready, when y'all ready, go we ready. Hey, move. I got a tag on.
Look where Walt Harris, the cornerback, is playing. He's in the end zone and he's way outside. They're going to rush here. Walter Harris is way out here. There's nobody in here at all. It's too easy. Now Drew Brees reads it. He sees it. He just throws a quick pass to Copper, and Walt Harris can't do a thing about it. It's a touchdown. That's just bad technique by Walt Harris.
6:45 left in the half, and Drew Brees has already tied a season high this year with 2 touchdown tosses. 17-0 for visiting New Orleans. Lindamare set to kick it off. 49ers trying to find some offense before halftime. The low line drive fielded by Hicks in the end zone. Across the 15 and tripped up at the 20 as Hicks loses his hat on the return. Johnny Owens makes the tackle for the Saints, and it looks like Alex Smith is indeed going to give this at least another series. This February, Fox takes center stage for 2 of sports' biggest events, the 50th running of the Great American Race, the Daytona 500, and the NFL crowns a new champion, Super Bowl 42. This February, Fox is once again home for the greatest moments in sports. Gore, the lone back for Smith. And we'll see how much longer that shoulder holds up. Alex with time. And he is high for his intended target, Ashley Lalee.
The ball still sailing on Alex, and you can see the frustration on his face. But going back to the Saints and their scoring drive, see 9 plays and 91 yards. They were able to drive that ball all the way down the field. They had a great punt by Andy Lee. San Francisco did. They thought they had him pinned down, but Drew Brees is on fire right now.
Saints got some help on the pass interference call. 2nd and 10 now. They put Battle in motion. Big hole up the middle for Frank Gore. Scott Shanley makes the tackle after a 6-yard gain.
And that's what they've got to do. They've got to commit to the run. That's really all they have going right now. Even though they're down 17-0, there's still a lot of game left to play. So don't just abandon your game plan and try to come out and throw it all over the field. That's not what they do best. Just nickel and dime them, take what's there, feature Frank Gore, and see if they can get back in this game.
Frank Gore is one of a number of 49ers who was practicing gingerly during the week because of an ankle problem sustained at New York last week. He comes off the field on 3rd and short. First down, San Francisco. Brian Gilmore gets his name on the score sheet. Just his 3rd reception of the year, an 8-yard gain. Yeah,
and Alex gets that ball down. Finally, all his balls early were sailing. They were high. He finally gets that ball down, and it's a completion for a first down.
San Francisco's offensive problems are too numerous to chronicle within the span of one drive, but they have struggled in time of possession. They've struggled on 3rd down, their first down.
And there's the fullback, Moran Norris. They're just trying to give the Saints different looks.
Smith's pass caught by Ashley Lalee, dragged down at the 40 by Mike McKenzie. Gain of 5. It is certainly not good news for Jim Hostler, for Alex Smith, for Mike Nolan. I mean, they rank last in 3rd downs, 1st downs, and time of possession for their offense, and only Kansas City has gone 3 and out more often.
That tells you that they're not winning on 1st, 2nd, or 3rd down. Obviously, The third down's only 25%, and that's not very good because you don't continue to hold on to the ball, and now you put your defense back on the field too much. They're playing too much.
Fifth play of the drive. Smith tries to move defenders and tried to shuttle it to Moore and Norris, but it hit Scott Fujita right in the hips. So it'll bring up 3rd and 5 now for San Francisco. Frank Gore is going to come off the field on 3rd down.
And you know, when he's your biggest weapon, I think you've got to leave him on the field some on 3rd down. He can catch the ball. Caught 68 passes last year on his way to the Pro Bowl. Got to try to get him the ball. Got to be more creative and not just hand it to him all the time.
Gilmore was the man in motion. Play action. Smith with pressure. He's able to get rid of it as Josh Cooper had him in his sights. The former 49er making an impact defensively for the Saints.
And that's the second time we've seen Josh Cooper not fall for the bootleg. Watch him come up the field, and now he's able to run down Alex Smith. And Alex Smith, there's nobody to throw to. He's trying to just sprint away from Cooper. And that's something that the Saints expect. With Alex Smith, they know that he's going to bootleg, he's going to run, they're going to try to get him outside the pocket. So that's what they're playing for.
Boy, San Francisco's first 6 possessions: punt, fumble, punt, 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 punt. So number 5 for the game for Andy Lee. Moore's going to let that one get over his head, and it bounces into the end zone. A 59-yard punt for Andy Lee.
Well, the Saints have done a good job today mixing up their play calling. It all starts with Drew Brees. Been very efficient, 13 of 18, 2 touchdowns so far, but he spread the ball around. You see the toss to Reggie Bush here. They've done a good job of keeping this Niner defense on its heels. And with Drew Brees, remember they told us he's like another coach on the field. He sees everything. And if somebody's not doing their job, even on the backside, he sees it. Eric Johnson, their tight end, said that's what makes Drew Brees so good. You can be on the backside of a play. The play's not even designed. The ball's not designed to come to you, but he'll still critique your route. So he sees all 11 guys.
1st and 10 for Brees and the Saints. Play action. Pass is caught midfield by David Patton in the midst of a big opening half. Derek Smith had the coverage from the linebacker spot for San Francisco. A gain of 16 and another Saints first down.
Talked about how efficient Drew Brees has been tonight, and he's been the key. We talked in the opener about when they were on their 4-game losing streak, all the interceptions and the bad throws and the forcing of the ball that he did, and it's kind of gotten away from that. And when he plays well and efficient, this offense is very good. And talking about him not forcing the ball, something that he did early. See, I think he just felt the pressure of having to put this team on his back, and early in the year he did too much. You can see him forcing the ball down the field instead of dropping it off. 9 interceptions in the first 4 games, and all those balls, as you see, are downfield passes. And that's not what this offense is based on. They want to try to throw the efficient, quick, short passes, and then let their guys break tackles and get yards after the catch.
4 receivers set for Brees here, and that pass is caught shy of a first down by the backup tight end and 8-year veteran Billy Miller. You know, you get the sense in talking to Drew Brees and talking to Sean Payton that the only other quarterbacks in the league that might be as integral to formulating the playbook week to week might be Tom Brady and Peyton Manning. I mean, you know, Drew's the guy who this is in, this is out. I like this, I don't like that. Not every quarterback can get away with that.
No, and obviously you've got to be a veteran guy who understands the game and is proven that you're a good player. And obviously Drew Brees has done that over the last few years. Has proven that he's a Pro Bowl guy.
And a first down reception made by Devery Henderson, who has gotten over the drops to some degree today. And it pushes the Saints past midfield, first down New Orleans.
You see again, their offense is predicated on throwing the ball short, throwing it quick. He's only been sacked 4 times all year, and part of that is that he gets rid of the ball so quickly.
We wind into the 2-minute warning. Drew Brees and the Saints offense has been impressive this afternoon. Brees with 178 yards through the air. The Niners on their heels once again. Well, the only celebrating for San Francisco has happened in the back of the end zone. Some of the ancillary entertainment in San Francisco, back with J.C. Pearson, Matt Vasgersian. The Saints have almost tripled up the 49ers in terms of total offense today, and the score is reflective of that so far.
Yeah, and one thing I'm surprised about is how little they've run the ball. Reggie Bush only has 5 carries, 44 yards, very effective running the ball, but they've had so much success going it that they just keep going.
And more success still as Marcus Colston is there for a first down reception, working on the safety Mark Roman. Add 12 to Drew Brees' impressive first half passing total, up to 190 yards with a couple of touchdowns.
Yeah, and it's 2 minutes right now, and they're huddling up. So they've got no concern. They're not in a hurry. They're not panicking. They're still huddling, even though the clock is moving under 2 minutes.
Another first down reception. David Patton once again, who is approaching a season-high yardage total. 20 more for Patton, whose previous season high was 113 yards in the air. And now the Saints will spend a timeout.
Timeout, New Orleans. 30-second timeout.
And again, the middle of the field is wide open. Those linebackers are so conscious of Reggie Bush that the inside of the field is open. And when they do that, the corners have got to play inside. They're staying outside of the receivers. And now it's an easy throw for Drew Brees. There's no linebackers in his face. There's no hands up, nothing, and it's just too easy for him.
Coming up on the Visa Halftime Report, Kurt, Terry, Howie, and Jimmy will get you caught up to date on all the scores and highlights from NFL's Week 8. And we'll have up to the second scores and stats with the Fox Sports ticker. That's all coming up on the Visa Halftime Report. The team that plays across the bay, the Oakland Raiders, losing in Tennessee today, 13-9. Vince Young less than 50 passing yards, but able to beat the Raiders today. Oh, that's coming up at halftime. Quick pass to Reggie Bush, and despite being blocked, Nate Clemens makes an outstanding play on the island for San Francisco. The Saints will take their second timeout here in the half.
Just another way trying to get the ball outside to Bush. What they do a lot of times too, and it worked very well for him last week, is they'll split him out. He gets so much attention from the defense, and that was one of the things that the Niners said this week, is they've got to identify where he is on every play. But sometimes they have too many guys focusing on Bush, and Pierre Thomas was able to run that draw last week, 24 yards for a touchdown.
Second and 11.
There's Reggie Bush in the slot.
A wide open David Patton once again, and he's knocked out of bounds at the 7. The handoff to Reggie Bush. First down New Orleans as Bush is inside the 5.
You know, Matt, my problem with the Niners right now is there's no effort there. Watch Walt Harris. They've been going at him all day. This was the previous play. Watch him. There's nobody threatening him. You got to attack that guy, and then watch the end of the play. Just pushes him out. Look at him. Head down. His body language is like he doesn't even really want to be on the field. Now, if I'm the coach and I see that from up top, guess what? He's not on the field. And that's the problem with their defense right now, is the effort is not there. There's no intensity. There's no effort. There's no sense of urgency, and you're down 17-0.
Well, the Saints have spent their final timeout of the half. 51 seconds left, and New Orleans knocking on the door for their third touchdown here in the opening half. Drew Brees has hit each of his last 7 passes, as this will be the 10th play of the drive for the Saints. Carney and Bush in the backfield for the Saints. Play action again. Touchdown New Orleans, and that was way too easy. Marcus Colston working on Walt Harris once again.
And exactly. Guess who? Walt Harris. He didn't come to play today. They picked on him the entire first half and been successful going after him. And if he plays some coverage out here, they've got a chance. Here he is right here. The receiver's going to come right to him. Now just plaster your guy. Hug up on him. That's just bad technique. Too easy.
The Mare PAT is up and through. And for Drew Brees, having his best half of the season, it's come at the expense of some of the secondary members of the San Francisco 49ers.
Some of them, one in particular, 2-7. And you can better believe that they're going to go in at halftime and they're going to say that we're going to continue to go after him until he shows up and makes some plays.
Join us next week for Week 9 action here on Fox. The 49ers travel to Atlanta. The Panthers meet the Titans, or the Packers battle the Chiefs, 1 Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific, or it's the Seahawks and Browns at 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific. Check local listings for the game and time in your area. The day begins with the Built Ford Tough Fox NFL Sunday pregame show, noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. I'll tell you, some of the fans might fly away at halftime if it continues. That guy looks like he was left over from one of Ken Kesey's Haight-Ashbury activities here in San Francisco a number of years ago.
That's Cinco de Mayo. That's a different holiday. He's a little confused, huh?
It has that feel of a lazy Sunday, though, here in San Francisco. To your point earlier regarding the intensity of the secondary. 50 seconds left until the intermission. Maurice Hicks at the 4. Across the 25 and stopped short of the 30.
You know, I said I was surprised that the Saints haven't run the ball very much, but why? Look at Drew Brees' numbers. 21 of 26, 222 yards, 3 touchdowns. I wouldn't run it either.
I mean, we talked about this being his best half. It's already his best game of the year. 8 for 8 with 73 passing yards on that last drive.
You know, it was key when we met with him yesterday that he said, you know, we're right here. Our offense is, I feel like we're coming along, and I think we're back to where we were and getting that swagger back. And we've got that swagger going right now.
Under a minute left for San Francisco, 43 seconds to be exact. Smith wants to get something going before the intermission, and a first down reception made by Vernon Davis. A pickup of 15 yards. So the 49ers will spend their second time out of the half. Again, they lost one on a lost challenge in the first quarter. We've got a moment. Let's check in with Nichelle Turner.
Hey, guys, you were talking about Drew Brees' phenomenal numbers today. Well, before the game, he told me flat out, we're going to air this out early and often. It's going to be a fast-paced game. We want to show everybody what the Saints offense is really about. JC and Matt, back to you.
And Nichelle, thanks. And they have been doing just that.
They sure have.
Do you think there was too much made of the loss of Deuce McAllister and how Reggie Bush might not be able to function as well as a primary back? I mean, you'd love to have Deuce McAllister, but they don't miss anything today.
Well, when they're playing like this, and, you know, the bottom line, it really all starts with Drew Brees. And when he can be efficient, spreading the ball around, keeping defenses off balance, you know, then that opens things up for a guy like Reggie Bush and Deuce McAllister when he was healthy.
Out of the backfield, this is Michael Robinson. He tried for that extra arm footage for the first down before Jason Kraft could stop him, and now Alex Smith wants to stop the clock. Rolling under 20 seconds, and the clock stops with 17 seconds left in the half. San Francisco has one timeout remaining, and they'd love to just get themselves into field goal position here to salvage something of what has been a rather forgettable first half of football.
Yeah, just no rhythm. And even when they did get some things going, penalties hurt them and pushed them back and forced them into long yardage situations, and they're just not good enough to do that.
Smith with time, and that one incomplete. Jason Kraft had the coverage. It was intended for Ashley Lee, and you know, the body language when a quarterback in his third year, coming back off a shoulder injury, isn't quite there, and Smith is not quite there right now. Ashley Lalee kind of looks back and does the "what's wrong with you" glare at his quarterback after every incomplete pass, and it's not as though Ashley Lalee has been a big-time performer for the 49ers this year.
Caught his first couple of passes last week, week 5 or week 6 actually. So, like you said, it's not actually like he's coming here from Denver and lit it up.
Smith out of the shotgun. And that one caught by Arnaz Battle. Out of bounds at the 36-yard line.
And that throw right there tells you that Alex Smith's shoulder is okay, because that is the toughest throw in football to make, going to the wide side of the field, throwing that out route with some velocity. He had some heat on that ball, had it in the exact spot that he had to put it in for Arnaz Battle to catch it in. So his arm and shoulder's definitely okay.
If you're thinking field goal for Joe Nedney, his career long is 56. And that's what they'd be attempting from here. So the 49ers are going to try to get him a little bit closer. And down goes Alex Smith. The best laid plan goes to waste as the clock winds down here in the first half in San Francisco. The Saints equally impressive on both sides of the football. The end of the first half with the score 24-0 New Orleans. The Visa halftime show is coming your way after these messages. And now the visiting Saints have so far ruined the pre-Halloween party here in San Francisco. 24-0 at halftime. Back with J.C. Pearson, Matt Vasgersian. You know, let's start with the Saints, because they've looked awfully good in the first half, of course, and everything they have done defensively and certainly offensively with Drew Brees seems to have worked.
It all plays hand in hand. When you're rolling offensively and you're scoring, you put a lot of pressure on the opponent's offense to have to score to keep up. That plays into your defense's hands, because now they can turn the ball, take the ball away. The Niners are turning it over. Just no rhythm offensively for San Fran. And you know, obviously Alex Smith, 9 of 20, just haven't been able to get the passing game going.
Joe Nedney will kick it away. The Saints will receive to start the second half. And the second half is underway in San Francisco. From the end zone. And tackled at the 17-yard line is Pierre Thomas as we check in with Nichelle Turner.
Hey there, guys. You know, this is kind of a tale of two coaches here. I just spoke with Mike Nolan from the 49ers, and he is not a happy man. He said simply his defense not playing well. I asked him if he thought it was because of a lack of effort, and he said, well, they've been on the field for so long, it's hard to keep up the intensity. But he said they've got to stop killing themselves and give themselves a chance in this game. On the other hand, Sean Payton, big grin on his face coming out for the half, but he said his halftime speech, keep up the intensity. By the way, guys, Charles Grant injured that ankle in the first half, but he's back on the field, and Sean Payton says he's okay. Back to you.
Nichelle, thanks. And Brees' first pass here in the second half is caught by Lance Moore for a Saints first down. You'll recall the way the Saints began the afternoon. A 70-plus yard touchdown drive on 4 plays in the first half. Tail of the tape very much slanted in favor of the visitors, with the exception, interestingly enough, of time of possession.
Right, and the Saints obviously throwing the ball very well, and that's where they've gotten most of their yards.
For your fantasy stats, log on to foxsports.com. A number of big-time fantasy performers early here, and the pass is incomplete, intended for Marcus Colston. 2nd and 10. That ends the streak of 10 consecutive completions reeled off by Drew Brees.
You know, it's almost surprising to me that the Saints are able to throw the ball so effectively, because remember Mike Nolan raved about Nate Clement, that he's the best cornerback that he has ever coached, and he's coached some good guys like Deion Sanders, you know, Chris McAllister and Darrell Green, and said Nate Clements is the best of all.
Reggie Bush with room up the middle, tackled by Michael Lewis after a 7-yard pickup.
Obviously they've gone at Walt Harris and not Nate Clement, but Nate Clement also has given up some easy passes.
Third and 3 for New Orleans. Bush, the lone back, patting the man in motion. And San Francisco's dime defense seems to have worked. Walt Harris was looking at an interception there, and it just glanced off his fingertips. So the Saints will punt it away.
And that's a good sign for the 49ers that Walt Harris challenged a receiver in the first half. He was playing very soft, and those guys were catching everything that was thrown to him. So I'm sure he got a stern talking to at halftime.
Steve Weatherford punted it away twice in the first half. Michael Lewis, the ex-Saint, begins the return at the 21. And the beer man is forced out of bounds at the 41-yard line. All kinds of finger pointing after the play. Mike Nolan's trying to make a case for a late hit. No flag. San Francisco on offense when we return.
Well, Mike Nolan was looking for a late hit penalty. You see at the end of this play, Michael Lewis out of bounds, and there's a shot right there, and that should have been a penalty. Mike Nolan's calling it right now, but the umpire that's responsible for making that call fell down, so he couldn't see it.
Still good field position for San Francisco to begin their first second-half drive. Smith out of the shotgun. And it's dumped off to Frank Gore, though it put him in an awkward spot for yards after the catch. And Gore is tackled for no gain. Frank Gore, 8 carries for just 22 yards in the first half. He has not been the multifaceted weapon that he'd like to be so far in this one. He likes to catch passes out of the backfield. San Francisco's leading receiver last year, after all. Here's Gore again. And he's dragged down from behind by the 320-pound nose tackle, Hollis Thomas. A gain of just a yard. You know, on the other side, Hollis Thomas is a guy who we have not talked about a lot so far this afternoon. The round mound of nose tackle, so to speak. The guy's 6 foot 320. He is the consummate run stuffer.
No question. He eats up blockers, and it looks like he's been eating up guys.
3rd and 11. Alex has some time and now some room to run. He gets out of bounds at midfield, protecting the shoulder. Roman Harper had the pressure for New Orleans. Just a 6-yard gain, and the 49ers are going to have to punt once again.
And again, you can't help but to think about the comments that Frank Gore made after the game last week about the offensive coordinator and the play calling, and all of the frustration is still showing to me, because offensively there's just not a rhythm, and they just can't run the ball well. They're not throwing the ball well. And yeah, granted, you can call any play the players got executed, but you got to get them in right position.
Lance Moore back on the Andy Lee punt, and he's taken down at the 22-yard line. It has been a frustrating afternoon for last year's 49er MVP. First and 10 for Breeze and the Saints from their own 21-yard line. It has been all New Orleans on the road this afternoon. Reggie Bush around the corner. No gain as Walt Harris rides him out of bounds.
We talked about Frank Gore. Here he is talking to his linemen, just the frustration. He has so much passion for the game, and he wants to do well. You can just see on his face there. And that's every day. That's just not game day. He has that intensity, that passion, that desire to want to be great every day. And when we met with him, he said, man, things just aren't right now, and guys just have to start playing better. It doesn't matter what play is called. Guys have to stop talking and just go out and produce, and they're not doing that.
2nd and 9. Bush out of the backfield, a lot of room indeed, and New Orleans first down and more, and Reggie Bush cut it back inside for an extra 6 or 7 yards before being tackled at the 42-yard line. A gain of 25 for number 25.
And again, that's just a toss sweep. In their playbook, even though that's a pass, the design is just like a toss sweep to get Reggie Bush outside, get him to the edge, get him down the field one-on-one with the defensive back, and Reggie Bush is going to win that battle more often than not.
100 all-purpose yards today for a man who had over 1,500 as a rookie last season. This is Bush again with a flag on the play.
Holding. Number 73 offense. 10-yard penalty. First down.
So Jerry Evans guilty of the penalty, the Philly native guilty of the infraction. You know, back to Reggie Bush for a moment. He told us when we met with him yesterday that since he's yet to rush for 100 yards, his goal certainly to rush for 100 yards, but he had his eye on 100 all-purpose yards this afternoon, and he's already at that number today.
Yeah, and that's really the number for a guy like Reggie Bush, is the total yards, because he's going to catch the ball, and ideally for the Saints, they want to hand him the ball about 19 times and let him catch it 6 or 7 times. So you got to look at the total number for Reggie Bush.
Play action to Bush. And the pass is caught at the 45 by Billy Miller, so some of those yards come back from New Orleans. Michael Lewis had the coverage. You only need to look at Reggie Bush to know that physically he's a threat to make things happen on a football field. And we understand from talking to him yesterday that in his quest to get even better at this level, he has embarked on a new workout regime, something that a lot of NFL players have started doing.
Yeah, it's called free flow dough. And it's to increase his endurance, his explosion, his dynamics, his core strength. And he started this last offseason, and it seems to be working well for him.
Marcus Colston there on the reception. And the football's free. San Francisco recovers. The first big play of the afternoon for the 49ers. New Orleans turns it over, a chance for the 49ers to crack the scoreboard.
Watch the great play that Nate Clements makes to punch this ball out. Watch his right hand. Right there, he just punches that ball away from Colston, and you see the reaction there. The Niners needed something good, something positive to happen to get some momentum, some confidence, see if their offense can take advantage.
And would you believe San Francisco is in New Orleans territory for the first time all afternoon, as Brian Gilmore has one get away from him. That'll bring up 2nd and 10.
San Francisco's had their share of drop passes this year too. We talked about New Orleans leading the league with 22 drops coming into this game. San Francisco was not far behind with 17. You see Brian Gilmore drops it, and look at Alex. After every throw, he still reaches in there, adjusting those shoulder pads on that shoulder. It's just not right.
Smith out of the shotgun with Gore behind him. The delayed draw play, and Frank Gore very close to a first down. Jason Kraft makes the tackle for the Saints, a gain of 9. So the 49ers now on 3rd and short will bring in the extra tight end and the fullback, and Frank Gore is walking off the field in obvious discomfort.
Yeah, that's not good. And his right ankle, that was the one that was injured last week and dealt with it all year. And look at it, there's the frustration again. And that's not anything directed at his teammates. That's more at him being injured. He's upset. He hates to be injured.
Michael Robinson, the ball carrier, and he has the first down for San Francisco. Let's take it back to the previous play to try to find out what happened to Frank Gore.
Keep an eye on that right ankle. Right there, it looks like he got wrapped up. He's got twisted up under the pile. The right ankle right there, you can see. Looks like Evans just comes down on that ankle. Not a good thing. He already was dealing with a high ankle sprain and was questionable for this game.
1st and 10 now from the 33. And Smith with some time. He dumps it off to Robinson out of the backfield. Breaking tackles. Michael Robinson still going. He slipped away from Mike McKenzie as well. 2nd, 3rd, and 4th efforts by Michael Robinson, a gain of 20.
And that's what this team needs. Not only this offense, this entire team needs to play with the intensity, the enthusiasm that Michael Robinson just displayed right there. He's a guy played quarterback in college at Penn State. They drafted him and made him a running back. And look at the effort here. He gets a chance to play because Frank Gore's hurt him. Look at him. Break tackles and spinning. Just refuses to go down. Watch, he's going to break out a tackle by Mike McKenzie also.
So after San Francisco breaks their longest play of the day, they will spend their timeout. The first of the half. San Francisco on the move for the first time today. Well, the 49ers have moved into the red zone for the first time this afternoon. Michael Robinson stays on the field in place of Frank Gore. More on Gore in a moment. First and 10 for Alex Smith. Loses the football. And that'll be an incomplete pass. Alex is unable to continue the play. Brings up 2nd and 10.
And he wanted to get that ball to Vernon Davis, and Vernon just couldn't get free and run that crossing route. We talked about Vernon early in the game, and he caught a couple passes, but since then he's disappeared. He's got to be a weapon for this team, and they've got to utilize him, put him in some right positions, but he's also got to be able to make some plays.
Vernon Davis, 3 receptions for 45 yards this afternoon. Those numbers happen to lead the 49ers. So 2nd and 10 now. New Orleans doesn't like what they see. And it was Will Smith who popped up really quickly from right end to call for a Saints timeout. This January, Fox once again brings the greatest week of college football, beginning with the All-State Sugar Bowl, the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl, the FedEx Orange Bowl, and the All-State BCS National Championship game. College football's biggest games, January, here on Fox.
Yeah, and I got my own list, and it's different from the grumpy old coaches. I saw their list this morning, and they are all wrong. I think I got it.
Look out. Smith with pressure. Dumped it off before Will Smith could get to his namesake, and it looks like Alex is okay after that hit. Trent Dilfer quickly summoned to the sidelines. Boy, Alex Smith has really been taking a beating today.
He sure has. You're going to see Will Smith just comes off the edge untouched and lands right on that right shoulder. Look at all the weight. Not only Alex's weight, but also Will Smith's weight. He immediately grabs that shoulder. He's not 100%. They need to see that up top. They need to get him out of there before he gets seriously injured and they lose him for the rest of the year.
3rd and 10. More pressure. Smith gets it out to Vernon Davis. That'll be well shy of a first down as Kevin Casebaharn had the coverage for New Orleans.
And look at Alex come off the field. That shoulder's there. He can't even move his arm. Just holding it. He's got to get out of there. They've got a lot of football left to play in this season. You don't want to get that kid injured any more than he already is.
You make a pretty good point.
Yeah,
it's 24-0. No one gives up on a game when it's 24-0 in the third, but you know this is week 8.
You got to be smart about it. You got to give Alex Smith a lot of credit for gutting it out and wanting to play and doing the best he can. But you know, this game is hard enough to play when you're 100%.
Joe Nedney from 29 yards away. And the skunk is out of the box. Let's check in with Kurt. Like both of those teams may be unbeaten, but you know it's always fun when the Trojans and Bears get together anyway. And that kickoff goes out of bounds.
Out of bounds on the kicking team. Ball be placed at the 40-yard line. First down.
And that's kind of how their game is gone.
Yeah.
They do something good. They get some points on the board. Then they kick the ball out of bounds. Give the Saints great field position to start.
Very little has gone right for San Francisco this afternoon.
And look at that. Don't blame the T. The T didn't kick the ball.
So New Orleans will begin the drive at the 40-yard line after the kickoff goes out of bounds. On the other side of San Francisco's frustrating offensive afternoon has been Drew Brees and the wonderfully productive Saints. Breeze has thrown for a season-high 271 yards. They split Aaron Stecker wide, and the pass is caught by Reggie Bush. He's taken out after an 8-yard pickup.
Drew Brees has been on all day today. Started on that first drive and get a touchdown. Marcus Colston, just a great job just managing this offense, throwing the ball to the right guy, being accurate all day. 26 of 32 right now, 279 yards, 3 touchdowns, but more importantly, 0 interceptions.
2nd and 2. And Bush tried to bounce, but is stopped shy of the first down. Drew Brees told us yesterday that the Saints are yet to play a perfect game, and I think fans that have watched them all season would agree. And while this hasn't been perfect, it's been as close as Sean Payton and the team has gotten all season.
It's definitely been the best that they've been this year. And we're constantly building, and they're saying, hey, we're not what we used to be. This is an entirely new team, and we're trying to get back to where we were. And obviously, they've made some huge strides today.
3rd and short. Bush for a first down. Inside the 45. And for more on Drew Brees, let's check in with Nichelle Turner.
Hey guys, you're talking about Drew Brees and this great day he's having. Well, he and Sean Payton have really discovered a great relationship together. Sean Payton told me that just a couple days ago he sent Drew Brees a text message and told him there is no other quarterback in the NFL he would want leading a team out of the predicament the Saints have been in than Drew Brees. And when I asked Drew about that today, he said it gives him so much confidence and is so special that his coach believes in him so much. That's why things are starting to click for the Saints.
Well, that's great. Good confidence booster for Drew, but you got to think if there's Peyton Manning or Tom Brady or somebody, you got to tell your own guy that. Come on, Michelle.
Pass caught by Eric Johnson, but there was a flag in the secondary.
Prior to the pass, illegal contact, number 22 defense, 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
And Nate Clements guilty of being a bit over-aggressive.
Nate Clements right here in bump and run coverage. He's good right there. That's where he gets caught. That initial bump was good. That was within the 5-yard area. The second one is the problem.
So 1st and 10 for Brees and the Saints. And they hand to the fullback, Mike Carney. You know, getting back to Drew Brees and to build on Nichelle's point, it's a story that everybody's heard, certainly, heading into the 2006 season when a couple of high-profile free agent quarterbacks were figuring out where they were going to hang their hat. Dante Culpepper ends up going to Miami. We all know about the problems that ensue there. Brees goes to New Orleans, and each franchise took off in different directions based perhaps on that one decision, who was going to quarterback it. This is Aaron Stecker up the middle for a gain of maybe 6. But remember, prior to 2006, Drew Brees ended 05 with an injury that some thought would prevent him from reclaiming the kind of form that he had found with the Chargers.
And that was the question that Miami had. They didn't know if he was going to be healthy with that shoulder. And the New Orleans Saints, they brought him down and they said, hey, we believe in you. We believe you're going to be healthy, and we want you here. And that was the confidence that he wanted, and that's why he decided to sign in New Orleans.
San Francisco spends a timeout on 3rd and 4.
Timeout, San Francisco, 30-second timeout.
Just over 3 minutes left here in the 3rd quarter. As we mentioned earlier, it's a busy day of sports here on Fox. Coming up a little later, Game 4 of the World Series in Denver. Such a great human interest story in terms of the pitching matchup, too. You got John Lester. We talked about this earlier on the mound for the Red Sox. He's a cancer survivor. Aaron Cook almost was knocked out of baseball because of a really frightening aneurysm that he developed. He's on the mound for the Rockies trying to keep Colorado alive. They are really backed up against it.
And what a perfect song. Pressure's going to jump on you, and it's definitely on the Rockies.
3rd and 4. Were the 49ers drawn off?
False start. Number 76 offense. 5-yard penalty. Third down.
Yes, they were. Jonathan Goodwin, who's at center in place of Jeff Fain this afternoon. That's the first misstep by Goodwin all afternoon.
And, you know, it's kind of surprising, Matt, when you look at coming into this game that the Saints only had 25 total penalties. You'd say, oh, that's great. But the problem is 22 of those penalties were on the offensive side of the ball. And you're like, well, how can that be? That defensively, they've only been penalized 3 times and 0 on special teams.
So now 3rd and 9. The quick pass to Bush, and Nate Clements was there to snuff it out. And Reggie Bush is slow to get to his feet.
That's one of those plays that they call check with me's. And that means that Drew Brees, he comes to the line of scrimmage, and if he thinks they can make a big play by throwing it quickly out to Bush, that's what they do. And if not, they call a run. And so they just check with Drew Brees at the line of scrimmage.
Steve Weatherford on to punt it away once again. Michael Lewis will let it bound over his head and check up as it rolls out of bounds at the 13-yard line. Well, it looks like Alex Smith is going to continue in this game after what looked like another setback to the right shoulder in the last series.
And if I'm Mike Nolan, you can't let him go out there. Alex Smith is going to go out as long as you let him, because he's a competitor, as all of these guys are. So even if they're nicked up, they're not 100%, if they can get out on the field, they're going to go. It's the coach's job to say, hey, you're not ready. You're not 100%. I'm not going to risk you getting more injured than what you already are. Now we lose you for the entire season. That's got to be a coach's call.
Frank Gore has also checked back in the game for San Francisco. Gore, the ball carrier, tackled after a gain of 2. Well, Alex Smith hurt the shoulder initially week 4 versus Seattle, and today it's not been just one hit, but a number of hits on that throwing shoulder.
And I think the biggest one was that first one we saw that Scott Fujita hit him, and then obviously this one right here on the last drive, Will Smith driving him into the turf, and he couldn't even move it coming off the field, but then he just got so much heart and courage, he comes back out. But again, like I said earlier, the coaches got to get him out of there.
2nd and 7. The deep ball for Davis, and he overthrows his target, incomplete. The 49ers this year are averaging 17 yards a possession, and they are right on that number here this afternoon.
And here's Scott Fujita. He's going to come off the edge, going to run through there, and then at the end, Alex just gets pushed down by Joe Staley, one of his own guys. But look at him, still holding that arm, and every time someone gets close to it, he just kind of, you can just tell it's hurting just by the way he's holding it. Not only that, Frank Gore, he sucked it up. He's back on the field. And, you got to give those guys credit, but the coaching staff has got to be smart with those 2 guys. Those are the franchise guys.
Saints bring 6, and the pass is caught for a first down by Brian Gilmore. So San Francisco does a nice job to beat the blitz, and the quick pass converts on 3rd down.
And then Alex Smith gets hit again. You can see his shoulder is just not right. I don't want this kid getting seriously injured. They're bringing the pressure, and he gets the shot inside, and they keep driving him down on that shoulder, and he immediately grabs it. I mean, it's a good throw. He's still capable of making the throws, obviously, but there's a lot of pain there.
Time ticking away on the 3rd quarter, a minute 10 and counting. 1st and 10 for San Francisco from the 26. Smith's been out of the shotgun virtually the entire afternoon. Intended for Arnes Battle and tipped away, incomplete. Jason Kraft had great coverage to bat that away.
And almost a great catch by Scott Fujita. Jason Kraft gets his right hand in there, stays off of Arnes Battle, and then it's Scott Fujita. That's not a catch, but he almost got there. You mentioned Scott Fujita earlier from this area, played at Cal Berkeley. He actually walked on there as a safety, then eventually became a linebacker, and of course got a scholarship.
Scott Fujita's life much more complicated these days. His wife gave birth to twins 7 months ago. The handoff to Frank Gore. I take that back. I got bad information. I misinterpolated my own numbers, if you will. She's 7 months along as they are expecting twins.
They are expecting. His life is going to change.
Yeah, it's going to get complicated.
Going to get complicated. More complicated.
This stuff's easy when it comes down to comparing it to being a dad.
Oh, she heard that at home. She probably almost went into labor.
Mrs. Fujita, our apologies. San Francisco converting on 5 for 13 on third down. And Smith's pass incomplete, intended for Battle. Mike McKenzie had the coverage. And the fans here in San Francisco have really let the offense hear it all afternoon. You know, you hate to pile on with stuff like this, but it really jumps out at you, the fact that in the last 35 years, only 3 49er teams have scored fewer points through their first 6 games. I mean, you're talking about a historically troubled offense at this point.
And remember, this is a team that had so many expectations coming into this season. Everybody thought that they were going to make it to the playoffs and just haven't gotten there.
In case you missed the Fox NFL Sunday pregame show.
Now that was funny.
Caliendo kills every Sunday on that show. 3 seconds left in the quarter. And Breeze still throwing the football. That one incomplete, as it was intended for the fullback, Mike Carney. Donald Strickland knocked it away. End of the third quarter in San Francisco, where it has been all New Orleans.
There is no challenge on the play.
Well, a clarification there. John Perry clarifying things for the crowd. When we went to commercial, Mike Nolan threw the challenge flag after this apparent fumble.
And listen to the whistle. They blow the play dead, so there's no challenge there.
You know, it looked like Coach Nolan threw the flag appropriately, too, because to our view, it looked as though Carney had made the reception, tucked it away, and made a step towards his run after the catch. So I think that if that one wasn't blown dead, the challenge might have found in favor of San Francisco picking up a fumble.
But isn't that just the way that things have gone for them today?
Absolutely.
The chance of making something positive and turns into a negative play for them.
Aaron Stecker, the back with Drew Brees. Fourth quarter underway in San Francisco. More yards after catch for Marcus Colston, the second-year wideout who really made his name as a rookie in that capacity.
He's a big, strong guy, 231 pounds, and his deal is yards after the catch. He's not a speed guy where he's just going to run away from you and beat you on go routes all day. He wants to use that big body, catch the ball, and then break some tackles.
Drew Brees adds another 16 yards to his afternoon, approaching 300 passing yards today. Aaron Stecker, the ball carrier, tackled at the 43 by Derek Smith of San Francisco.
See Reggie there trying to shake off that injury. We saw the last drive. He got up slowly and was holding his leg or his groin. Still doesn't look to be 100%. Looks like it could be a lower ab muscle.
2nd and 6 for New Orleans.
Not that I'm a doctor or anything.
You're in pretty good shape, though. At least you have abs.
Yeah, somewhere down there.
Stecker once again. Tully Banta-Cain among the linebackers in on the stop. Patrick Willis near the ball, as he has been throughout his impressive rookie season this year.
Near the ball. Yeah, today he hasn't been on the ball. as much as he would like. Double-digit tackles in every game so far this year. You know, he was a very nice, one of the nicest kids that we've met with all year. Everything was yes, sir, no, sir. And says that he's really just learning. Loves Mike Singletary, the linebacker coach, and really helping him on his vision and his techniques and fundamentals.
Breeze out of the shotgun on 3rd and 5. And the first down reception made by the former 49er, Eric Johnson.
You know, we talked about Patrick Willis. He said that, you know, he eventually wants to get so that he can see everything on the field. And his vision right now is just chest area right there. And all this gray area, orange area, he's not seeing right now. He's just seeing straight ahead. That's where he's about at right now. And, you know, eventually what he wants to be able to do is to see everything, the entire formation, what everybody's doing. That's what Mike Singletary works with him at, and just, you know, seeing the entire play.
Pierre Thomas, the ball carrier, a gain of 3.
You know, we know that Mike Singletary, when he played, could see the entire stadium. Look at those eyes. He's not only seeing the field, he's seeing the parking lot, he's seeing everything. Those eyes, that was one of the best ever to play that position. And, you know, Willis is lucky to have a guy like him, and he knows it.
Yeah, we didn't have a camera that could shoot 360 degrees, you know, Panavision to do that graphic properly. That's what Singletary saw. Pierre Thomas stays in the game. Lance Moore in motion. Thomas, the ball carrier. And some tough yards put him close to the 40 before Patrick Willis can make the tackle. You know, we mentioned Pierre Thomas.
And see Willis, he's seeing pretty well right now, just flowing, reading the play, and then just running it down at the end. Right there. Runs 4.37, or he ran 4.37 at his college pro day. And that's faster than a lot of running backs, faster than a lot of wide receivers. Does a good job just going sideline to sideline. Once he actually figures out and learns how to play, he's going to be a monster in there.
Breeze on short yardage as a first down reception made by Eric Johnson. So Eric Johnson making a presence here in the second half, among the players that we met with yesterday for the Saints. And he told us firsthand what we had read about throughout the offseason, how difficult it was for Eric Johnson to leave San Francisco. Loves this area, loved being a 49er, but he saw the handwriting on the wall when they drafted Vernon Davis last year. And with Davis's role expanding, he decided to test the free agent waters, and he's had a fine year for the Saints.
He has, and he said at the bottom line, it just came down to him being able to start somewhere and play and not have to play behind a guy like Vernon Davis.
Aaron Stecker, the ball carrier, gain of 2. Mark Roman makes the tackle. Drew Brees up over 300 yards for the afternoon.
And you got to give a lot of credit to the offensive line. They've done a great job of keeping pressure away from Drew Brees. Again, he hasn't been sacked in 3 games. This one will be 4. He has yet to be sacked here today. This will be 4 straight games that they've not given up a sack. And, you know, those guys up front have played very well for this Saints offense.
2nd and 9. Aaron Stecker. As the Saints keep it on the ground, Patrick Willis makes another tackle after a 3-yard gain. Clock continues to tick away on the 49ers at home as Walt Harris is being carted off the field. And if there's an injury situation there, it may explain some of the trouble he's had this afternoon, JC.
Yeah, you never like to see a guy get carted off the field. When that happens, it's something generally that is pretty serious, so hopefully not too bad for Walt Harris.
Saints have taken a timeout, their second of the half. Sean Payton trying to put this one away midway through the 4th quarter. Well, the New Orleans Saints have recaptured the type of offensive performance that made them the Cinderella story in the NFL last year. Over 400 yards of total offense. And Drew Brees has been, of course, right in the middle of it. 321 yards in the air. Jump ball into the corner of the end zone for Marcus Colston. Touchdown, New Orleans. Colston's third touchdown reception of the afternoon.
And that was all Drew Brees. Coming to the line of scrimmage, sets the blocking protection. He knows exactly who's coming. The Niners trying to blitz him, and he knows he's got one-on-one outside.
Challenge flags on the field from the San Francisco sideline.
Timeout.
And they're going to take a look at whether or not Colston was inbounds and had control of the football. We're going to duck away.
Well, the challenge is, did Colston get both feet down? And he does. Watch, his right foot comes down and his left foot hits before his hand hits out of bounds. He maintains possession through the ground. That's a touchdown. You see that left foot comes down right there before anything else touches the ground. Maintains possession, and that's easy. Easy call for a touchdown.
And not long after Walt Harris was carted off the field, the Saints go that way. And it was Shante Spencer in for Harris at the right corner.
But Drew Brees did a great job at the line of scrimmage, recognizing the defense, pointing everyone out.
After reviewing the play stands as called. Right foot was inbounds first. Left foot is inbounds prior to the hand touching the sideline. With possession of the ball, it is a score. San Francisco is charged with the third and final timeout.
There's an echo in here, man. Yeah, and I said the exact same thing.
Well, Mike Nolan has tried it twice on challenges this half to lose them both.
And watch Drew Brees come to the line of scrimmage. He identifies the guy that's going to come. Watch. He identifies the guy. He knows he has man coverage, and then watch him pump. He's going to pump the ball right here, make the cornerback bite on that slant, and then just throws the go. They call that a sluggo, a slant and go.
Point after try is good. And New Orleans takes a 31-3 lead in San Francisco. All New Orleans this afternoon, 31-3 for the Saints, as Marcus Colston has more than doubled his touchdown total for the year. He started play with 2 receptions, good for scores, 3 touchdown grabs today. That's a career best for the second-year wideout. And Sean Payton's return back to the San Francisco Bay Area has been a pleasant one so far. A native of San Mateo, California. Spent the first 6 years of his life there, and in fact told us yesterday he can remember as a kid going to Mass on Sundays and seeing people in the congregation wearing the shiny 49er jackets on Sundays.
Yeah. And they were the 49er players also. Gene Washington, John Brody, and those guys.
Yeah, it's interesting that Sean Payton grew up a fan of the 49er teams that Mike Nolan's dad coached here. Longtime Niner coach Dick Nolan. Coming up after the 49ers and Saints, it's the OT presented by Lowe's. Kurt, Terry, Howie, and Jimmy get you caught up on all the Week 8 action, plus the first look at the new BCS standings in college football. That's all next on the OT. John Brody, of course, the longtime 49er quarterback back in that vintage. First and 10 for San Francisco. It is still Alex Smith calling signals. And his pass is caught by Arnaz Battle. You know, Sean Payton went on to tell us yesterday that one of his enduring images of this facility, they used to call it Candlestick Park when it was home to the 49ers and the Giants, was waiting outside the gates with his dad as a kid after a San Francisco Giants game and waiting for upwards of an hour for Willie Mays to come out to the parking lot where he autographed his baseball glove.
Yeah. And we asked him where that glove was today. He said it got stolen. He had it in the back of his brother's trunk. His car got stolen. The glove in the back with the signature on it.
Smith's pass incomplete, intended for Ashley Lalib. Well, Sean Payton has really hit the ground running as an NFL head coach. 7-4 on the road at the start of the week, and it seems he is well en route to running his road record to a very impressive 8-4.
And you've got to give him a lot of credit because they started off 0-4 after so much, hype coming into the season that the Saints were going to the Super Bowl, represent the NFC. Then they start 0-4. A lot of teams would go in the tank from that point. There'd be a lot of dissension and division amongst them, but he kept them together. It looks like he's got them back playing well.
There's Vernon Davis for a first down reception. Vernon Davis with a season-high 5 catches for the afternoon. Do you think that the Saints getting back to New Orleans, do you think that they're on track? Have they put the 0-4 completely behind them? And is this the team that really had the great success last year in the NFC?
Well, I think they are back. And, when you look at their first 4 games, they had the 4th toughest schedule in the entire National Football League. So they had a tough opening 4 games. They just break it down into quarters. They want to win 3 out of the 4 games in each quarter of the season. And they said they should be fine from that point.
Michael Robinson, the ball carrier. And among those taking an early exit this afternoon is Reggie Bush after a good day on the road.
Sure, they're just going in to get some early treatment on whatever injury he had. But by him being able to walk off under his own power, that obviously is a good sign for the Saints.
Still 7:26 left in the 4th quarter as Arnaz Battle makes another reception on the drive. When you talk about the Saints in the NFC South, and it's really too early in the season to be scoreboard watching in earnest. However, Carolina losing at home to the Colts today. We got a score in the 4th quarter. Tampa Bay losing at home to Jacksonville, and the Jags are without so much of their firepower. The South is a winnable conference, and it looks like the Saints are playing as good as anyone there.
No question. Not only the South, but the entire NFC. It's still wide open. Obviously, everybody thinks that Dallas right now is the best team in the NFC, but it's wide open. So as the Saints can get back on a roll the way they played today, obviously, and if they can continue that, they can be right back where they want to be.
We're told that Reggie Bush, by the way, who we just saw walking off the field a moment ago, has an aggravated hip pointer, and that's why they have walked him into the locker room here in the 4th quarter. You'd guess it shouldn't be anything serious to worry about in New Orleans. Alex Smith using his legs for the first down. 6:30 left in the game. Michael Robinson the back with him, and Smith out of a shotgun. Walks it for Battle, in and out of the hands of the Louisiana-born wideout.
Grant on the field before the game, he said, we're going to go 12-4. Watch what I tell you. Mark it down that I said we're going to end up 12-4. In order to do that, they've got to win today, and they look like they're going to do that.
Reception made by Jason Hill. So
do you not believe Charles?
Well, Charles is saying they're going to win 12 in a row, effectively, right?
It's possible. Before you can win 12 in a row, you've got to win 3, and this will be the 3rd.
Looks like there's been a challenge flag thrown, and it's come from the Saints sideline after that Hill reception.
New Orleans is challenging the previous play, catch versus incomplete pass.
See down at the bottom of the screen, are both feet inbounds? Yes. It's an easy call.
It certainly looked like Jason Hill dragged his toe across the turf, and that was, oh yeah, that's down on the ground clearly.
Looks like that left foot is clearly inbounds, and he drags the right one.
Because what this game needed was another stoppage. Man,
yeah,
there have been a lot of them today for various reasons. It'll give Sean Payton a chance to enjoy his trip to San Francisco for a little bit longer.
And that's all he wanted. Knew that he'd get some camera time, make the challenge. We're up 31-3. No big deal.
For San Francisco, they move on to Atlanta next week. It's a Falcons team that had a bye this week, and it's a Falcons team that, as everybody has talked about, has really struggled in 2007. Now apparently turning the quarterbacking reins over to Byron Leftwich. For the 49ers and Mike Nolan off to Atlanta.
And they just have to get this offense straightened out. And it's not like they've been productive offensively all year. They've only scored 16 points.
2 feet inbounds with possession. New Orleans is charged with their third and final timeout.
Again, you take a look, that left foot in clearly drags that right toe and maintains possession.
Now Sean Payton isn't going to stop coaching. He has a very comfortable lead with just over 6 minutes left. 31-3 Saints. But that red flag was burning a hole in his pocket, and he decided to give it a shot. So it's 3rd and 4 for San Francisco. First down, 49ers. Ashley Lally there on the reception.
That's a good throw and a good catch. Ashley Lally going up, catching that ball, plucking it out of there with his hands.
A 9-yard pickup for San Francisco. Clock moving, under 6 minutes left. Out of the backfield, Maurice Hicks. This is starting to remind fans perhaps of the 11th hour drive that San Francisco put together in New York last week when they were trailing by plenty in the 4th quarter. One of those posterity feel-good drives.
Better block Will Smith. He's been coming off the edge extremely hard. Took a big shot on Alex Smith last play.
Smith for the end zone. Incomplete. Just past Arnaz Battle and no flag on the play. Jason Kraft had the Saints coverage.
Watch Arnaz Battle right here, just running that seam route right up the middle of the field. Might have been a little trip there by Jason Kraft, but he's going after the ball. As long as you're going to make a play on the ball, you can have some incidental contact.
The longest drive of the afternoon for San Francisco, the 12th play. Pass is complete for a first down. Brian Gilmore on the reception. Only Detroit and Cleveland had put together fewer 10-play drives than the 49ers through the first 6 games of the season. A rare long one here. Watch out, go special. As we are under 5 minutes. Flags all over the field.
Illegal snap. Number 66. Offense, 5-yard penalty. First down.
They get the center, the Stanford guy, Eric Heitman. A reminder that Game 4 of the World Series comes up later on Fox. 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. Can the Rockies stave off the sweep and stay alive in the Fall Classic?
What do you think about that? I don't think it's going to happen.
I think they are challenged. To be diplomatic about it, I think, yeah, not. That's going to be a rough one. Tall order. 1st and 15 for San Francisco now. And Smith dumps it off to Michael Robinson, who's inside the 10.
And that's what Alex Smith can do for this offense, especially when things break down. He can move, and he's a mobile guy. And not only having to run the ball down the field, but just move, slide in the pocket, step up, buy some extra time, and find a guy down the field.
Pass incomplete. It was intended for Brian Gilmore, and that one had some hair on it.
Some hair on it?
A little zip there.
Okay.
That was like one of your Elway fastballs.
Oh. Just never heard that term before. kind of caught me off guard. Had some hair on it.
So 3rd and 3 now. We remind you as well, the OT is coming up next. The OT presented by Lowe's will take you around the league. A complete recap of all the Week 8 action in the NFL. 3rd and 3 for Smith. Touchdown 49ers. Vernon Davis, his career best 6th reception of the afternoon. A 7-yard touchdown strike.
What that does, it doesn't mean a lot in this game, but going forward, it gives them some confidence to say, hey, we can go out and we can execute, we can make plays, and we can put points on the board, something that they haven't done a lot of this year, but that's a good drive for the Niners.
Joe Nedney on for the point after. A 15-play, 80-yard touchdown drive by the 49ers.
We've been talking about how much of a weapon that Vernon Davis can be. He's just going to run down the seam, run right by Scott Fujita right there. Sells him on that little fake up front and freezes him, and then he just runs behind him. Alex Smith puts it right over. Again, watch Alex Smith takes another little shot and falls down, but you know, that guy's a courageous kid. You got to expect onside kick here.
We welcome those of you joining us from the Washington-New England game, where the Patriots continue to treat the rest of the NFL as though it's the JV. 52-7 Pats in Foxborough today, as New England just continues to impress, confuse, frustrate, and dominate in the NFL.
There were some people that actually thought Washington had a chance to win that game.
Nedney for the onside kick. It looks like the 49ers have recovered. There's a flag on the play, however. It's a Joe Nedney specialty, the onside kick. We'll sort out the flag before we talk about Nedney's onside kick prowess.
Offside on the kicking team, number 45. 5-yard penalty. Re-kick must be made.
And never mind.
And again, as it has been all day long, when something good happens for the Niners, something bad happens, takes him back. Watch the offsides penalty. He's got to stay behind the line. And I don't know, that's pretty close right there. He called it on 45, and he's the last guy down the field.
Now, Zach Kesey was just re-added to the active roster before the game.
He's the last guy off the ball. But again, typical of the day that the Niners have had.
Yeah.
Things go well for them, a good play happens, and it gets called back. On that one, obviously they had the wrong guy.
Joe Nedney, by the way, 6 for 9 recovering onside kicks as a 49er. This one's up and batted around. Another flag, another 49er jumps on it. We'll have to sort this one out.
I'll tell you what, Joe Nedney does a great job of driving that ball in the ground and then forcing that high hop. Allows his coverage unit to get down the field. He's one of the better, if not the best guy in the league at kicking that onside kick.
For his career.
Illegal touching by the kicking team. By rule. New Orleans ball. 1st and 10.
The ball has to go 10 yards before the 49ers can touch it. So he's going to drive that ball in the ground, and right there, that does not go 10 yards. And that was Michael Lewis. Jumped up and tipped that ball, and it was only about 8 yards down the field. You got to let that ball go 10 yards before the kicking team can touch it.
Well, just to continue your thought, Everything has conspired against San Francisco here today, and it started when New Orleans took their first drive 70 yards down the field, and on 4 plays had a lead that they would not give up, and it's been all Saints since that moment. New Orleans pitched the shutout in the first half, and really the Saints have not been challenged here today. A season-high offensive output for New Orleans, 419 yards of total offense. Drew Brees, after 336 yards and 4 touchdowns, will sit the rest of this one out as the veteran Jamie Martin takes over at quarterback. The hand is to Aaron Stecker, and flags are on the play. What an afternoon it's been.
Holding, number 94 defense, 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Drew Brees has definitely earned his rest today. Came out that first drive and just been very efficient, very accurate. 31 of 39, 336 yards and 4 touchdowns. More importantly, no interceptions. Just came out very efficient, did a great job of managing the offense, getting them in the right play, throwing the ball to the right receiver. Like I said earlier, very accurately.
Drew Brees just missing a career touchdown high today. 5 his career best, as Stecker is up the middle for a gain of 8. Your game summary this afternoon: the 49ers were hoping for a lift when Alex Smith was named the starting quarterback. He had missed the last 2 games for San Francisco. Smith has been punished today as the Saints got to that ailing right shoulder and limited Alex to under 200 yards. Just as frustrated has been Frank Gore with the ankle problem. 12 carries for 41 yards, and we've talked all about Brees and Colston in particular. Marcus Colston with 3 of the 4 touchdown grabs for the Saints.
And the thing that really concerns me today is Alex Smith, obviously not 100%, but still in the game, taking a lot of shots. And Frank Gore, obviously only the 12 rushes. He's the guy that they've got to continue to get the ball to. He's their big play guy. And when you look at their offense, the guy that scares you on that offense is Frank Gore. And they just haven't gotten him incorporated, gotten him into a rhythm, because they've handed the ball off to him. And you've got to use him a la the Saints. Use Reggie Bush, get him out on some pass patterns, throw the swing route to him, give him the ball quickly outside. And they just haven't incorporated that in their offense.
Clock ticking with 2:50 left in regulation this afternoon. And Frank Gore led the NFC in rushing yards last year. Over 2,200 all-purpose yards, and he has been a non-factor this afternoon. Aaron Stecker takes the hand from Martin. How about Jamie Martin getting some snaps under center today? The 37-year-old vet who broke into the NFL as an L.A. Ram in 1993.
And these are the kind of games that you want to come in and play, because the score is way out of hand. You know you're going to win. The ones that worry you is when there's a sudden injury. Now you've got to come in and you've got to make some plays to win the game. That's when there's a lot of pressure. This is easy for Jamie Martin.
2-minute warning in San Francisco. All Saints in the city by the bay this afternoon. Now the 49ers cheerleading squad recreating Thriller. It's been a thriller for the visiting New Orleans Saints. A season-high offensive output for New Orleans, back with J.C. Pearson, Matt Vasgersian. Really has been all Saints here this afternoon as they are well on their way toward their 3rd consecutive victory.
They seem to be back and playing the way they played last year when they went all the way to the NFC Championship game.
Pierre Thomas, the ball carrier, as things get a little chippy after the play. Some of the frustrations on display, certainly from the guys in red and gold.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Frustration. You've been getting beaten all day long, but the problem I had is, where was that intensity early in the game? That's what they were lacking, especially defensively, was they didn't have enough guys seemed like that they wanted to play and had the intensity and the sense of urgency.
All the other NFL action is final, and we remind you to stay with us for the OT presented by Lowe's as soon as this one is done. Kurt, Terry, Howie, and Jimmy will have a complete recap on all the Week 8 action this afternoon. And then stay with us on Fox for Game 4 of the 2007 World Series. 3rd and 7 as Martin hands to Aaron Stecker. And the F Troopers are getting plenty of time in the rotation here for New Orleans. You know, you kind of have to squint when you read about Jamie Martin debuting with the LA Rams. It seems like a different lifetime that the likes of Cullen Bryant and Jack Snow,
Lawrence McCutcheon
were running around. Lawrence McCutcheon, yeah, you bet. That's really the old NFC West. We talked about the Saints and 49ers, former division mates.
Great players, man. Vince Ferragamo, remember that name?
Oh, Super Bowl quarterback. As Stecker is smacked and dropped at the 10-yard line. That's going to do it here this afternoon. We might have one more play left.
Yeah.
And we'll be back from San Francisco right after this. Well, New Orleans with a big 31-10 victory on the road, and it seems that West Coast trip to Seattle a couple of weeks ago got the Saints right. They've won 3 in a row. A look at your UPS leaderboard this afternoon. Drew Brees with a season-high 336 yards in the air. Marcus Colston, a career-best 3 touchdowns. UPS, what can Brown do for you? Be sure to stick around. Kurt Menefee and the OT presented by Lowe's is coming up next.